Are you ready to buy your first house, but you don't know what kind of house to choose? There are so many options to choose from. There's single family homes, townhomes, condos, and new builds. It's so easy to get overwhelmed. But don't worry, I got you. In this video, I'll break down how to figure out the best house type for your budget, your lifestyle, and your goals. By the end of this video, you'll feel confident in your decision and ready to take that next leap. So let's hop into it. I'm Jackie Morris, and I am your favorite homegirl here in Eastern North Carolina. I specialize in helping first-time home buyers like yourself navigate through the home buying process with confidence and ease. So if you're new here, you might want to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos, because I help with tips, tricks, anything you need about the home buying process. First things first, let's talk about budget. Budget, in my opinion, is the most crucial step in the home buying process. Just because you sit down with a lender and they give you a pre-approval for a certain amount does not mean you have to max out that pre-approval. It doesn't even mean you have to get that much house. So let's say a lender pre-approved you for $550,000, where you're not comfortable with the $550,000 mortgage. So you don't have to buy a house in that price range. What I suggest you do is sit down, take a piece of paper, and write out all your monthly expenses and write out the max that you're willing to pay for a mortgage. You go back to your lender and you say, hey, this is the amount I want to spend in a mortgage per month. What price point would make sense for me to be looking in and to get this type of mortgage? And I suggest you do that way before you even go look at a house in the 550 price range. Always stay where you're comfortable, because what will happen is you'll fall in love with the house at the top of your budget, not willing to pay that much. And then you'll end in disappointment. So it's very important that you sit down and be realistic with yourself and your family and say, okay, maybe the next house we can afford this much, but for right now, we're not going to get a house outside of this price point, and be okay with that. Know that when you go into a house, you're going to make it your own. So your first house does not have to be your forever house. It's just a stepping stone to your next house. So always factor in budget before anything else. Budget, budget, budget. Remember that. Also, when we're speaking on budget, when you are buying your first house, you don't want to go into that house and be what I call house poor. House poor means when you go into a house after you pay all of your monthly expenses, you have nothing left over to live off of. So when you're factoring in your budget and factoring your mortgage, make sure you have money left for savings, fun things. Don't spend all your money on a mortgage just for the sake of having a mortgage. Make sure you have money left over to live after you buy a house. Okay, now let's talk about lifestyle and how lifestyle plays a role in buying your house. Now, do you have a big family? Do you like to host events? Do you like entertaining? Do you like having cookouts? If that sounds like more your vibe, then you're probably looking for a single family home. But if you travel often, you're not really home, you're only home a couple months out of the year or a couple weeks out of the year, you want low maintenance, you don't want a lot of yard, then a condo or a townhouse might be more for you. And don't forget about location. Like, do you want to be close to schools? Do you want to be close to restaurants? Do you want to be more rural? Do you want to be out where the restaurants and the stores are 20 minutes away? Where do you want to be located as far as in the city or outside of the city? Another thing is taxes. Do you want to pay city taxes or do you not want to pay city taxes? So factor in those things when looking for location. Now let's dive into the debate of new construction or resale. So new construction. If you are into more of like the modern, you want to move into like turnkey ready, you don't have to do anything, everything is up to date, up to par, you really just have to move in, you may want to do a new construction. New builds often are energy efficient and they come with low maintenance when you walk through the door. Um, but new construction sometimes come with a higher price tag, and then you may have to buy your appliances, your blinds. Some new builds you have to buy your refrigerator, washer, and dryer. No blinds come on the window unless you negotiate that in the price. But just keep in mind that you will have those costs when you move in. So keep that in mind when it comes to new builds. On the other hand, you have resale. Usually are more affordable. They're not move-in ready. You may have to do renovations. You may have to do some repairs. You may have to do cosmetic. They're lived in. So sometimes people want people to get the crinks out of the house. With resale, then that's it. Whether it was a new construction for them or not, typically resale is more stable homes, so to speak. So if you want like more character and things of that nature, you may want to look into a resale home, but just be prepared to do renovations and repairs when you move in. My advice, and I get asked this question a lot, do you prefer new construction or resale? I've actually lived in them both. And what I will tell you is just factor in the pros and the cons. What works best for your budget and your family in this season. Reminder, your first home does not have to be your forever home. So whatever works for you, do that and make it work for your family. Okay, so now let's talk about a townhouse. So if you want less maintenance than a single family and more space than a condo, then you may want a townhouse. But keep in mind, you do share a wall with your neighbor. Now let's talk about condos. Condos is very low maintenance for those who don't want to do yard work or exterior work to the outside of the property. The HOA fees and rules may be a factor. So be mindful and always ask for the HOA restrictive covenants before you put the offer in on the property. Let's talk about multifamilies. So if you're an investor or you want to be an investor, or you want help with your mortgage, multifamily may be the thing for you. What you can do is live on one side or in one unit and rent out the other side or the other units. That way, that can offset your mortgage, and it's a great way to get into to build your investment portfolio. Planning for the future. I know sometimes when we're purchasing a house, we're thinking about right now, but also thinking about your future. Like, do you plan to grow your family? One day, do you want to work from home? Do you want more space? Always think about the future when you're purchasing a house because you never know how long you're going to be in a property, for one, but you always want to think about, especially the resale value. Like, will this house sell? What unique characters will sell this house? And when you move into the house, think about the upgrades you can do to your house so that when you do resell it, you get the maximum amount for your money. The places that hold the most resale value or that will elevate your resale value quickly is always the kitchen and the bathrooms. So always keep your kitchen and your bathrooms up to date so that when you do resell it, you can sell it for top dollar. Here's something that most first time home buyers don't really think about when buying a house, and that's the ongoing cost of owning a house. If you buy an older house, yes, they have a lot of charm, but you have to keep in mind that some of the systems are older, like the HVAC system, the plumbing system, those things are older. So chances are, or sometimes you may have to replace those systems. So when you're buying a house, keep in mind that you will need money or need the means to replace these things if they go out. If the systems are years old, just know that it's a possibility that they will go out and you will need to replace them while you are in the home. And when you are purchasing a house, make sure that you ask your agent to ask the seller to provide to you a copy of the last years of utility bills or any bills that are with the house, trash bills, anything. Make sure you ask them if they can provide you with the last year so you can see the average of the utilities and anything else that they pay in the house, because that will give you an idea of how much your utilities are run, how much your trash bill is, whatever bills that come with the house. It will give you an idea of what those bills are, and you can look forward to how much you will spend. Not to say that it's going to be the same, but it's probably around about the same. Townhouses and HOAs, some single families now, but most specifically townhouses and condos come with HOAs. And those HOAs can be very, very strict. So make sure that you understand the restrictions before you put an offer in on the house, because some restrictions you may not be able to live with. So just make sure you go over the restrictive covenants before putting the offer in, so you'll know what you're getting yourself into before you're even signing an offer for the property. At the end of the day, buying a house is more than about the numbers. It's about how you feel when you walk in the house. I tell my clients all the time, when you walk through the door, you know if that's your house or not. Like, it's just a feeling that I can't even explain, but you'll know it when you walk in the house. And sometimes you could talk yourself out of that feeling, but you just know. Make sure that you are praying that God sends you in a house, and praying for discernment that when you walk into the house that you will know it based on the feeling. But you'll know it. Trust me, you will. And as you are walking through the house, ask yourself, can I see myself living here? Is this a house for me and my family? Can I see myself living here for years to come? Can I see my family growing here? Is this a house for me and my family? Do I like the school district? Do I want to, even if you don't have kids, are these school districts that I want to send my kids in? Is this a neighborhood I want to raise my family in? Just ask yourself those questions as you are walking through the house. Also, I suggest you ride through the neighborhood in the morning, during the lunch hour, and at night before putting an offer in on the house, so you can make sure that you are safe, that you feel safe in that neighborhood, that you're okay with whatever is going on in the neighborhood. Just make sure you are familiar with the area and the neighborhood before you put an offer in on the house. I will say, trust your instincts. Know that you are making the right decision. I know you're overwhelmed, sis. I know it's a lot. I know that you feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? But I promise you, when you walk into your house every day, you will thank yourself, oh my God, I'm so glad I made this decision. So trust yourself. If you don't trust anybody else, at least trust yourself. So there you have it. Choosing the right home does not have to be overwhelming, especially when you break it down step by step. If you're still unsure where to start, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to sit down and make it make sense for you. If you're in the process now, trust yourself, trust your team, and know that you're going to be okay. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll make sure I answer them. And let me know what you're looking for in a house. Let me know what stands out to you. Talk to me in the comments. I promise you I'll talk back. So if you are new here, or if you like this video, share it with someone that may be in the home buying process. You never know who's in the home buying process. So share with your friends and family. Like, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys around. Thank you for tuning in again, and happy house hunting.